What's going on, YouTube? You guys are tuning into another Q-Pill reaction. Let's get a dose of this shit. Now, there hasn't been a creator in my eyes who's experienced a more precipitous decline than Candace Owens. There was a point in time where I actually used to like Candace Owens. I had a certain level of respect for her. Now, this was before the inception of the Q-Pill, before I became a behavioral scientist and a certified relationship coach, but I actually had some reverence for her courage and her speaking out about the state of the black community and how we needed to prioritize fathers in the home and reestablishing the nuclear family if we wanted any chance at improving the black community's current state. Now, fast forward to today, and in my opinion, she's in a downward spiral after being fired by the Daily Wire, and she's well entrenched in conspiracy theories and science denialism. This whole obsession with calling science a cult and claiming that things are satanic, like Bobby Boucher's mom out of The Waterboy, everything is the devil, the devil, the devil. That's satanic. That's fake. That's gay. Which I take severe issue with. Because now she's making waves around the internet, making outlandish claims about Jews and about scientific theories that are supported by mountains of scientific evidence being fake and gay. And I'm genuinely wondering if she's just being a trolling grifter or if she's a certified retard at this point who may need psychiatric evaluation and to spend a couple months in a mental asylum in a desperate attempt to redirect her from the treacherous path of cognitive ineptitude that she's currently on. Now, for people who have been following her retardation tour, you may have remembered a couple months ago she called dinosaurs fake and gay. And at that point, I realized that she had completely lost it. Now she's back at it again with the fake and gay labels because just a couple of days ago on her podcast, she called out Matt Walsh, claiming that she had a bone to pick with him because she believes that NASA is satanic and space is fake and gay. And Matt Walsh is not quite as stupid. So let's take a look at the video of her addressing Matt Walsh.
Here's my bone to pick with Matt Walsh. We have a long-running beef on the topic of NASA and moon landings because he thinks they happened. And listen, when the guys did it, it was fake and gay. I'm sorry, Matt, and it's time for you to admit it. It was just as bad. You just weren't alive for it, okay? Homies were on the moon making phone calls before the time of cell phones. Like, hey, what's up, Prez? It's me. On the moon with a flag, no issues. First time we've ever flown this thing. Yeah, I don't know. We just got through the belt pretty easily. And until Matt Walsh accepts that the mission in '69 was also fake and gay, I don't care. I can't defend you, even if I fully agree with you about gay. Okay, I literally cannot defend you. Okay, you must come to terms with the fact that NASA and space missions have always been this fake and gay. You just weren't alive for the original ones, and you need to learn the history of NASA, of the Apollo programs, which were occult and satanic. It was literally meant to be an antichrist movement to make people believe in man. It's a fact. I'm going to show you guys. It's like, you can look this up anywhere. Look up Jack Parsons and the Apollo program. They just wanted people to believe in scientific advancement. The guy who created the Apollo program was this guy, Jack Parsons. Can you pull up this clip, Skylar? You know, this is from a podcast, the Science History Institute Museum and Library. This is one of their podcasts, and you scroll down here, and you, again, are probably gonna have to make this bigger for my eyes, but at the top here, you know, Jack Parsons was a brilliant rocket scientist, but he lived a wild lifestyle with a devil-may-care attitude. He was pretty relaxed about safety and dabbled in drugs, occult practices, and sex cult rituals. It would all eventually catch up with him, though, and quite literally, they were throwing these sex rituals, and he believed that he had summoned the devil, and the devil told him that he needed to create a moon child. Next thing you know, they're telling us we made it to the moon. I mean, you gotta look into Jack Parsons and the origin of NASA. I'm telling you, space has always been exceedingly fake and gay. It was fake and gay when the men did it, and it's now fake and gay because the women did it. So go back and watch our NASA episode to learn more about the establishment of the Apollo program and why it's always been occult and satanic, and about devil worship and about the Antichrist. It's just undeniable. It's like a part of history that's just real. So I'm challenging you, Matt Walsh, once again, until you say, Candace, you were right. Space is not real. I'm just a guy and grew up with little astronaut figurines, and I can't let it go because the little boy in me doesn't want to say no.
That woman is clearly off her rocker, and she wholeheartedly believes that what she is saying has merit. And of course, this is a desperate attempt to stay afloat since her employment for the Daily Wire has been terminated and she's no longer being buoyed by that company. But the fact that she makes these outlandish claims that are indeed not fact, they're historically inaccurate. Jack Parsons was not even alive when the Apollo program was created and NASA was founded. He was dead. He had been dead for a decade. Do y'all understand that? And the most interesting thing about conspiracy theorists is they always try to find patterns and conflate phenomena where no pattern or conflation exists. Oh, you see the correlation? You see the connection here? When there isn't one. There's plenty of psychological studies that conspiracy theorists look for patterns where patterns don't exist, and then they attribute one phenomenon to another, making a correlation that was never there. And Candace's rationale exemplifies that phenomenon. Now, she's not wrong about the fact that Jack Parsons participated in occult behaviors. That's true. But the fact that NASA or the Apollo programs had anything to do with that is completely inaccurate. And you see why her perception holds no water, because it's faulty. It's built on a faulty premise to begin with. But this is what conspiracy theorists will do. They'll argue you to the ends of the earth about the validity of their statement, as many people have tried to educate her on the reality that space is not indeed fake nor gay. Space doesn't have a sexuality, and space is indeed real. And let me just point out that if there was a spectrum of fake and gay phenomena to real phenomena, and you were to place religion, Satan, and all other religious concepts on that spectrum versus space, I can guarantee you with absolute certainty that all religious concepts, religious beliefs would be closer to fake and gay on the fake and gay spectrum than they would to the reality end of the spectrum. Because space would be at the tail end of the reality part of the spectrum. It's insane to me that an actual human being who could do research on her own, who's been educated on other podcasts about the insanity of her statements while she doubles down on her beliefs and rejects the ideas and the evidence that is presented to her for why what she's saying is incorrect and asinine. It's insane to me that this is a real human being with these beliefs. Everything can't be satanic and the devil. And even if Jack Parsons were to engage in sex occults or any other kind of ritualistic demonic behaviors, satanic phenomena, that has no bearing on his scientific work and the validity of space. And if Candace doesn't believe in space, all she has to do is go get this thing called a telescope and see for herself. Because scientific phenomena is universal. Space exists everywhere. Doesn't just have to do with Jack Parsons, the Apollo program, or NASA, or anyone trying to have this giant cover-up where they want to convince the world of man's scientific brilliance, which they've done a brilliant job of doing, because everything that has helped her gain the level of traction and success that she's ultimately had up to this point has been done on the merits of scientific brilliance. Every appliance that she uses where she lives, every camera, every microphone, social media, all of that is a result of that very scientific brilliance that Jack Parsons wanted to convince the world of while it was rooted in Satanism. There's not a place in a Western society you can go and not see the brilliance of the utility of science and how it's improved society to the degree that it has. And to reject that or outright deny it, you have to be retarded. So at this point, is Candace Owens trolling, grifting? Is she a certified retard? I think it's all of the above. I think she's a combination of all three. And that's the reason why she's lost all credibility. No one of prestige or prominence takes her seriously. She's been banned from visiting other Western countries such as Australia. And despite the fact that she has millions of subscribers and listeners on the daily, she's still been relegated to her own platform with limited reach and confined to only her imagination and the weirdos and conspiracy theorists and other idiots who follow and consume our content. Catch you guys on the next dosage. Over and out.